Is Kyle Teel ready for a big impact at the big league level? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and with the Big Four, well, I guess outside of Marcelo Meyer, who hasn't made his AAA debut yet at the AAA level, questions are starting to arise as to when they are going to be ready to put on that Red Sox uniform. Now, of these four, again, outside of Marcelo, Kyle Teel has had probably the most difficult transition up to AAA. It's taken him a while to get accustomed to it, but he has gotten accustomed to it, and he has absolutely turned it on in these last few games, which is leading a lot of people to ask the same question. What is he going to look like in a Red Sox uniform? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about the adjustments Kyle Teel has made in AAA. We're going to be talking to Kyle Teel himself about these adjustments, and we're going to be talking about what this could mean for the future of Red Sox catching. But before we get into that, just a heads up, we are going to be live tonight on this channel, talking Sox, watching the Red Sox, maybe try and win a series against the Baltimore Orioles. Whole lot going on, so I hope to see you there. Again, that is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern tonight on this channel. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So for those of you who may not be super familiar or haven't been following along too closely with the Worcester Red Sox, Kyle Teel's first 10 games at the AAA level weren't exactly impressive. In fact, through his first 10 games there, he had just a 100 average with a 182 on base percentage and a 100 even slug, good for a 282 OPS. The average OPS in Major League Baseball is right around 700 this season. That's well below. In that time, that is just 4 hits, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts in 40 AAA at-bats. Not exactly what you were hoping to see from the Red Sox number 4 prospect. And I say number 4 because recently, according to SoxProspects.com, again, I always say this, the best place to go for Red Sox prospect information, they actually switched up their rankings a little bit and put Christian Campbell at 3. Now, that doesn't mean that Kyle Teel is dropping in terms of projected offense or defense or as a player in general. It mostly just has a lot to do with how good Christian Campbell has been this season, but that is entirely besides the point. His first 10 games did not look pretty in a AAA uniform. However, he's turned a corner here recently. Kyle Teel has started to put it together at the plate because his last 10 games are an entirely different story. Since August 27th, he is hitting .317 with a 444 on base percentage and a 543 slug, good for a 987 OPS. That is basically 700 points higher than his first 10 games. He also went 11 for 35 in that time span, on top of smacking his first 2 AAA homers. One of them was to dead center field. That power is really starting to come through for Kyle Teel. He also had his first couple AAA doubles as well, with 2, all for 13 RBIs as well. The power is coming through again, which was a big thing that stood out in his time in AA this season. Part of the big reason why people started getting really excited about who Kyle Teel could be is because of the fact that he had added a real nice power stroke to his game. He had 11 home runs and 20 doubles in AA before his call-up, and these are both obviously career highs. Now, part of that is just simply due to sample size, right? This is his first legitimate season in professional baseball. Last year, he started basically halfway through the year and quickly made his way up the rankings, so obviously a bigger sample size is going to lead to more home runs, but at the same time, too, he's on pace for more home runs this season than he's ever had at any point in his collegiate or professional career. In his collegiate career, his highest was 13. With his 2 home runs in AAA, he's now at a career high for him. Again, probably outside of high school, which I'd assume he'd had a couple in there as well, but this is a really good sign. Him introducing a power stroke to his unbelievable contact ability allows him to really take his game to the next level, and it's a really big encouraging sign that he's able to bring that power stroke back in these last 10 games. On top of that, though, maybe more important than his power stroke is the fact that he's getting back to understanding himself in the batter's box, because during the same 10-game time span, he had 9 strikeouts and he walked 9 times. So he's walking as much as he's striking out, and he's striking out less than 1 time a game. That is a really encouraging sign because, again, there is a difference between, oh, this guy's hitting it out of the ballpark, great, but he's striking out a lot, and man, this guy's hitting it out of the ballpark, he's getting on base, and he's not striking out a ton. It's making him a more complete hitter. It's the hitter that we know and love at the AAA level that we saw in AA. And this, again, on his understanding of himself, his strike zone, and when to attack and when to lay off has been a big part of what has made Kyle Teel such an exciting prospect. So to see him make those adjustments, and not just make those adjustments, but make those adjustments within 10 games at the AAA level after failing for his first 10 games is really, really good signs. But I don't want to sit here and just simply continue to babble on about Kyle Teel's statistics. So let's talk to Kyle Teel himself about what he's been doing at the AAA level to make those adjustments, as well as some other things about him being in AAA.
All right, so we're here with Kyle Teel. Obviously, I know you've talked about it a ton, but I just want to quickly, how was the promotion and how's adjusting to a new city?
It's been going great. You know, I love the city. We're getting after it every day, and just out here trying to win ball games.
Fair enough. So for you, what has been sort of the biggest difference between AA and AAA? Has there been an adjustment where you're like, oh man, I gotta get on that?
Well, the number one thing that I see is the strike zone. You know, the ABS zone. It's beneficial for both offense and defense to be able to make challenges, and it makes a difference in the game. Like big situations, if you can challenge as a hitter and get on base, it's huge.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Have you liked it or not liked it? Somewhere in the middle still?
I think that from a catcher's perspective, you shouldn't be allowed to challenge, and I think as a hitter, you should be allowed to challenge.
I think that could be a fair rule.
Yeah.
For you, you're kind of in a unique position here in AAA because you've got Reese McGuire and Tyler Heineman, who have had major league experience this year. You've got Rich Gedman, who's a fantastic career. For you, what is it like being up here with those guys? And is there something you're looking to take out of that experience here?
I mean, there's just so much you could learn from guys like Reese and guys like Tyler Heineman. You know, like when I'm working with them every day, I'm talking to them, just trying to pick up little things that they do, and just I pay close attention to their movements and how they go about their business, because those are veterans and they're really good at what they do.
That makes sense. So for you, what are you working on right now? Obviously, you've got a month left in the season, sort of wrapping it up. Is it just sort of getting going in AAA so you can hit the ground running next year? Is there something you're working on in the cage or behind the plate?
Yeah, I mean, behind the plate, the big thing for me right now is just staying quiet and handling the staff and getting to know these guys. Offensively, it's just getting into my lower half and keeping it simple.
Fair enough. And then I got 3 questions, just rapid fire for you. I got David Ortiz or Ted Williams?
Big Papi has always been one of my favorite players.
Fair.
Yeah.
No love to Ted?
Oh, Ted's the man too. Love Ted.
Not trying to make you look bad. And then would you rather hit for the cycle in a playoff series, or would you rather have a 3 home run game at the big league level?
Repeat the question.
Would you rather hit for the cycle at the big league level in a postseason series, or would you rather have a 3 home run game at the big league level?
Oh, postseason. Like,
Easy?
I just hear postseason. That's the one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been talking about it a lot. Everyone says Kyle Teel, that's the guy who's going to tell us we need to win in and night out. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I play the game.
It's fair.
Yeah.
And then finally, last question for you. Would you rather have the best contact ability in baseball or the best power ability in baseball? Everything else stays the same.
I mean, I feel like I'm a contact guy, first and foremost. At the same time, I think hitting bombs is awesome, so I'll go power. Let's go power. Power's cooler.
That's fair. And then my viewers are going to be pissed if I don't ask a question about your DJing skills, so I do have to ask one of those. Joely was a DJ here for a while. Are you willing and looking to take up that mantle, or are you going to take your time, maybe think about it next year?
So Joely was unreal with the special effects. After a win, you would just hear the air horn. Bum, 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 bum. He would go spam the effects, and it was awesome. And it's going to be really hard to top that.
That is going to be hard to top.
That being said, I'm gonna DJ tomorrow after the game for the boys.
All right, so first time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
If we win the game, we gotta win the game.
Obviously.
We gotta win the game.
Of course. Anything special planned for it?
I mean, every win is special, so.
It's fair.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Sorry for the interruption, folks, but I did want to take a second and say, if you're new here, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just simply helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's get back to the video. So obviously, as always, a huge thank you to Kyle Teel for taking a second and talking to us. He was running a media gauntlet when we were there last time, so it was nice of him to take a second out and answer our questions. But there are a couple of things that I want to hit on in this interview. The first is that Kyle Teel, the way he comes across is confident. I'm not talking about confident in terms of cockiness or anything like that, but confident within his ability. When we were talking to him in AAA, he was in the midst of that dry spell, and yet he remained confident in himself and his ability to get himself right. And I think that's a really important factor to have, being comfortable with who you are and understanding that, hey, yes, this sucks, and yes, I'm not doing well. Would he have loved to come up here and absolutely smoke the hell out of every baseball? Of course he would, but that didn't end up happening, and yet he remained confident. He remained pretty relaxed as well. It has worked out really well for him. The other thing I wanted to point out in this interview that's extremely important is him understanding the opportunity that he has in AAA that a lot of guys don't. Right now, he's got two major league catchers in that clubhouse. They have experience not only catching in Major League Baseball, but catching this current pitching staff. One of the biggest things for Kyle Teel was making that sort of transition from a catcher to basically a platoon leader behind the plate, a guy who can call a game, a guy who can really take charge of an infield if he needs to, and having those guys there who have done that at the Major League level with this current Red Sox team is a really big plus. On top of that, you also got Rich Gedman on that bench, a Red Sox Hall of Famer when it comes to that catching position. So having all of those guys there is a really big opportunity, and I love to hear the fact that Kyle Teel understood that opportunity and is trying to take advantage of it. Now we got to get to our big question here. The title of this video is the Red Sox top catching prospect ready to have a major impact at the big league level? And I think for the most part, that's more so centered towards 2025. 2024 is really wrapping down here, and his impact is, because of game time, very, very limited. Even if he does get up here to Major League Baseball at some point this season, which I personally don't see happening, it's going to be a small impact, but the big impact could come in 2025. And I don't want to prematurely answer this question, but I also want to say yes. I think for the most part, there was never really any doubt as to whether or not he was going to turn it around at the plate. He's just simply that talented when it comes to hitting in the batter's box. I don't think there was anyone at any point in sports writing, sports creating, or fandom as well that was sitting there saying, man, I'm worried about Kyle Teel at the plate. And for good reason, because now he's completely turning it around. To me, the biggest factor as to whether or not Kyle Teel will be able to make a big impact in 2025 is going to come down to defense. The Red Sox had some issues this season with defense behind the dish, especially when it came to pass balls. Connor Wong let a lot of pitches go during the 2024 season, and part of that is due to wild pitches, but part of that is also due to him just simply not being able to get in front of those baseballs. Fixing that going forward is going to be really big when it comes to the Red Sox success next year, and the hope is that Kyle Teel can get there. Right now, it's almost like an unpolished product, right? You've got the talent, you've got the ability, you just need to polish it up a bit before you get to Major League Baseball, and I think that's a big reason why he's going to spend some significant time in AAA. But I do think he is almost ready for a major impact. I do think coming into 2025, not only is he going to be invited to big league camp, but I also think he's going to be invited to big league camp to be able to fight for a spot on this roster. I firmly believe Kyle Teel has the potential to break camp with this Red Sox team and be an impact player from day one. But even if he doesn't get there, the Red Sox say, okay, maybe you need a couple more weeks, maybe a month or two in AAA before you make your Major League debut, then in my mind, there's no doubt that Kyle Teel is the future of Red Sox catching. Again, he's just so unbelievably talented behind the plate, at the plate. He's got so many skills that he can utilize on a daily basis that put him above a lot of other players. It's a reason why Baseball America put him in their top 25 for prospects. It's a reason why he continues to climb up rankings no matter where you look. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that towards the end of this season, really finishing this one up strong and coming into next year, hopefully breaking camp with the Boston Red Sox. But at the end of the day, yes, I think Kyle Teel is right there. I think Kyle Teel is getting ready to make that big impact, but that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the possibility of Kyle Teel making an impact? Do you think it'll be right out the gate in 2025? Do you think it'll take some more time? So let me know all your thoughts on Kyle Teel in the comment section down below. Don't forget, if you want to listen instead of watch these episodes going forward, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. I will see you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time for our live stream. Only 2 left, by the way, and in the red seats.